What is up, everyone? Welcome to It's Been a Week. I'm your host, Ben McDonald, and this is your weekly dose of whatever the hell just happened.
Shoes. 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 Oh my god, shoes. Let's get some shoes. Let's get some shoes. Let's get some shoes. Let's get some shoes. 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 Oh my god, shoes. Shoes.
Okay, everyone. If you are on the internet, if you have looked at YouTube, if you have been alive in the 2000s, you know my next guest, and I am so excited to introduce him. He was viral before viral was a thing. He has over 180 million views on his YouTube channel. You probably recognize him from his character Kelly in the Shoes video or Muffins or all his other amazing videos. Please welcome Liam Kyle Sullivan.
Hi, Ben. Thank you.
How's it going? How's your week been?
How's my week been? Good and bad. Had a good week, like in general, managed to keep it together. Go to work, sleep. My son got sick. He's better now, so that was kind of a bummer. He woke me up at midnight last night. And of course, all the bad news. Every time I'm scrolling, I'm like, Jimmy Kimmel got suspended. Like it's just going nuts.
Yeah, the Jimmy Kimmel thing, I had to actually this week for the first time really like turn off social media and not look because it was just between the Charlie Kirk stuff and the Jimmy stuff, and it's just, I don't know. I think this is a much bigger issue than even just the left and the right and Democrats and Republicans. There is so much more happening. And I watched the Jimmy Kimmel's thing, I really watched it and tried to look at this from both perspectives and both sides. I don't see anything wrong that he's done.
Yeah, it just seemed like an excuse.
Right. It was
to
like
pressure them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that it's, this is freedom of speech. It's scary because it's especially for people like you, like comedians. It's like, at what point are we, not allowed to just like make jokes or say how we feel?
Yeah, it's terrifying. It's not good. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's awful.
It'll be interesting how, because I think I saw something today that like the Disney Plus app, like to cancel your subscription, the page crashed because so many people are canceling, Hulu and Disney Plus and all the things. It'll be interesting how they respond to this.
The only sliver of hope I took from it was that they used the word suspended. And I know they said suspended indefinitely, but it didn't say fired and it didn't say canceled. And so I thought, maybe that's the network hedging their bets a little, like, oh, we'll appease the FCC and Trump's friends for now, but don't worry, Jimmy, we'll bring you back at the right time. I don't know what they said behind closed doors.
Right.
But just that word suspended made me feel a little bit of like, oh, he'll come back.
Like he's put on pause.
Yeah, but why? Why even do that? Like, why capitulate at all? Unless there's some big money involved with this, what is it, Nexstar or some other mega
investors or whatever.
Yeah, so somebody's like, oh, take him off the air. It'll, we'll make money somehow. I don't know.
And part of me, whenever stuff like this happens, I also always think like, is this a distraction? So we're all focused on this when there's something else happening over here.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like Trump said himself, next is Jimmy Fallon, I assume, and Seth Meyers. And it's like, oh, this is just the beginning? That's
right, this is
the terrifying part.
Yeah, it's scary.
When does it stop? When?
I mean,
are we in Putin's Russia right now? You can't say anything against our Savior Lord, our dear leader, or else you get whisked away or suspended or fired or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. And for people in this country, they're all about like their Second Amendment and their guns and this, and their freedom of speech. It's like, but that's being taken. They're all worried about guns being taken away. But what about your freedom of speech?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's wild times to be alive. That's for sure.
It is. And it's happening so fast. And I know social media feels like it accelerates all of our emotions. When you read something or see something, you scroll through. Uh, it's just so right there in your face
Yeah.
and so personal. Um, because it's right in your hand. Something about it physically being in your hand, this terrible news, this terrible footage, it just connects to your body in a different way than if it's on a television over there across the wall, across the room.
And I
I don't,
think
some, yeah,
and I think too that like with social media, everyone's feeling the need to tell their opinion and their side and post. I went to dinner last night with a couple and they're Republican. And we had a really interesting conversation because we were able to sit at dinner and have a very open conversation. And I actually learned at dinner last night that I have a whole group of white, straight Republican males that listen to this podcast. And I was like, I really didn't think that was my demographic, but okay. And so shout out. I mean, okay, well, all are
yeah.
welcome.
Shout out, guys.
All are welcome. But we had a really good conversation where it was like almost meeting in the middle, and where it's like we could understand some of their perspective and they could understand our perspective. And I do think that if everyone was actually communicating in real life, in person, a lot of people can actually meet more in the middle. But what we see on social media and what we see in the news is the extreme left and the extreme right, and everyone getting riled up and everyone being so brave behind their keyboard. And it's like, but when you're actually having human connection and talking to someone, I've noticed that it's like we can actually some things agree to disagree. Some things I'm like, I don't know how we can agree or disagree on that. Like it's ridiculous. But in general, a lot of things, it's like we actually all are closer to the middle than we think. But this media thing, it just like it divides everyone.
Yeah, and I think it's a feature of it to keep you engaged, to keep you on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
So
Totally.
those extremist things, or those things that rile you up, those are not taken down by moderators or whoever. You know, um, I think was it Jon Stewart who said everyone's got the Zapruder film right in their hand. You know, the assassination of Charlie Kirk is right there, and
Right.
it's not being taken down, and it's horrifying and terrible, uh, and it's everywhere, and it's very disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And things now like Charlie Kirk getting assassinated, everyone knew and saw that within minutes of it happening,
Yeah, I
like
didn't
around
see
the
it.
world.
I consciously said, "I'm not gonna watch that." Um, but yeah, it just it's everywhere.
And I watched it not on purpose because I didn't even know it had happened yet. So I was like, "Well, oh, what is this?" And
Oh
then when I
god.
saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is AI. Like this is sick. Someone made an because it was so horrific." I'm like, "This is
Yeah.
for sure not real." Because now, even with AI, you'd watch AI videos and you could tell immediately, "Oh, this is fake." But now it's getting so realistic and like real looking that I
Yeah.
was like, "This is AI." And then when I found out it was real, I'm like, "How is this being circulated around the internet?" Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I wanna switch gears, and I wanna talk about other things that went around the internet and more amazing things that went around the internet.
Right. Right.
So,
I'm
I
a
have
part of all of this.
right. I really do. Like I was texting with my friend that I grew up with, and like I was saying, like, you really did kind of create viral. Like you went viral before viral was a thing. Like I
Yeah,
look back,
before.
yeah, I mean, I look back at it and I'm like, okay, we didn't have TikTok and Instagram. I don't even think we were like texting the way we were like the shoes video, for instance, that was word of mouth. Like I remember going to school and people being like, did you see the shoes video? And then like it was like that to blow up to that level, literally from word of mouth, is insane to me.
Yeah, it was crazy at the time too, because it was all new to me. Like going viral, whatever that. I don't know exactly when that phrase like locked in, because we had, I think, different, like they used to call me a user generator, or user generated video was what my category was. Yeah. Um, but yeah, it was wild when it was happening, and I did not fully grasp what was happening while it was happening. You know?
Right. I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
it was such new territory. Like we give the Kardashians credit for like influencers and,
Yeah.
teaching people that. Like you like started the viral thing.
Yeah. And people would ask me, can you make my stuff go viral? Like, you're the viral genius, you know, can you help me do it? And I was like, no, I don't know. I mean, I just made something that I really enjoyed making. Um, and I was lucky. Like the timing of it, I made muffins in 2005, and then I made shoes in early 2006. And they were like short films to me. Like I was thinking, oh, I'll go, I'll enter them in a film festival,
Mhm.
comedy in the comedy genre. Um, they didn't get accepted, by the way, because I did submit shoes to the Slam Dance Film Festival, and they didn't accept it. But
Well, that's a loss for them, clearly.
well, YouTube accepted
Yeah.
it. That's another thing. YouTube was brand new, and it was like, oh, this is a cool place to like showcase my work. I didn't think I didn't think millions of people would be on there watching. I think maybe there was a couple of other video sites back then. Maybe Vimeo started back then too. I don't know, but YouTube just, I mean, it was the first one that just exploded, and
Mhm.
I was lucky to be there at the ground floor.
Yeah, I mean, it was to this day, like, I still quote shit all the time. Like, I mean, I when things don't work, I literally go, "What a piece of shit." It's and some people get the reference and some don't, and I'm like, it's just the amount of times that I watched your videos over and over, and it's not like, again, it wasn't like TikTok now where you just scroll, move on to the next video. Like I would have friends over and it would be like, let's watch the video, like the video you've seen 100 times, but it's like, let's watch it again. And it just, you kept watching these videos and it was, I don't know, they literally was part of too, like inspired me, I feel like, to be an actor. Cause I always wanted to entertain and make people laugh. But then when I would see like those videos, I'm like, wow, you can like make your own thing. It's not that you have to like, get to Hollywood and do all the things. I'm like, we can just make our own stuff. So we started making our own skits and, uploading our stuff to YouTube, which thank God did not go viral. And thank God I've made it private now. But
Oh, yeah, some of the things in your teens and early 20s that you've done, you're like, "Oh god,
like,
glad no one saw that." Yeah.
what was I wearing? What was I saying? What was I doing? I'm like, I watch, it's cringe, very, very cringy.
Yeah, yeah.
But, no, so for the Kelly videos, like, how did this character come to be? How did you come up with this? I mean, it's so perfect, but, like, where was she born?
She was born here in Southern California. It took years, really, because she was based on many different women that I'd known and met over the years. In the late 90s, actually, I worked a temp job in an office, and I worked with a woman. And I'd been here. I'd moved from Massachusetts. I didn't think there was like a California accent or a Southern California accent until this woman said, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "What? Where am I going?" Like ing becomes EEN, and I was like, "Oh, I've never heard that. That's different. I like that." And so a couple years later, I was talking to a woman in a bar, and we were talking about our obsessions, and she said, "My obsession is shoes. Like these shoes cost $300." And so that kind of stuck in my head. And then I had an ex-girlfriend who, inspired the character too, and my sister. So it was a lot of different things over, I don't know, 6, 7 years. And just being a stranger, or not a stranger, but like a Massachusetts person, getting acclimated to Southern California. I don't know. There was a Valley Girl thing too. Like, I don't know if you remember, I think it was Moon Zappa, who did a Valley Girl song back in the 80s. Anyway, that was in there. So all this stuff was rattling around in my head. And I started doing sketch comedy, and they say, write what you know and do things that, just come out of you. And so I had all these different characters that I was doing, and Kelly became one of those characters. And the first time I pitched her to my sketch group, the sketch didn't work. I had her voice, but I didn't have her look or the song. And so, I kind of put the character on a shelf for a little while. And then once I had the song, then it all kind of clicked in my head. I was like, okay, she's a rock star, or, she's the protagonist. She's not the side character. She's the lead. And that's when it really took off. And I was like, oh, I get this girl. I get her now. And a lot of that teen angst that I had growing up got, put in there too. But yeah, Kelly took a long time to just kind of come out.
So that's amazing that it took Kelly that long to become, and I love it. It's funny that it didn't land right away because, like, to me, it's just so perfect.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
And like the lipstick and the wig and the betch and like just the whole, like, her attitude, just being such a bitch is so funny.
Yeah. And I like the skit in the beginning too, because originally didn't have a skit to like show where she came from, her family or anything.
Well, that's
And
why we got the prequel.
yeah, the prequel came 6 years later, but the shoes skit. I asked my friend Pam to play the mom, and then I played the dad and the brother and Kelly. And I remember way back then, some people would ask, "Wait, is he the dad and the brother and Kelly? Is he the mom too?" Like people were like, I don't know if I follow what's happening right here. Some people would ask, "Are you a boy or a girl?" Like they were just really uh, either confused or mystified or like intrigued. And people I've met now who, saw it when they were a teenager or so, they said, I had never seen anything like that. I'd never seen, I think that was the first time I saw a man dressed as a woman, or just the characters you were doing. Um, and like you said, it didn't come from a network. It didn't come from a studio. It came right from me. And that was brand new. And so, yeah, I love that skit because it shows that where she came from and the way she's treated at home. So when you see her out in the world, you're like, oh, I kind of get her now. Like,
Right.
I'm on board with
She's
that.
had kind of a rough upbringing.
Yeah, and a lot of people have told me that they really connected with her because of the way her parents treated her. Her parents and her brother, they're like, ew, gross. Her mother literally calls her a whore. Um, and people have told me, yeah, I felt that way growing up. I felt like my parents just didn't like me. And I was like, ugh, that sucks. Because I was really blowing out, an experience, greatly exaggerating my experience growing up, which was I was the brother, and my sister was Kelly. Basically, she's nothing like Kelly in real life. Although don't cross her. But but back then there was like this dynamic that maybe it was like just subtle or whatever, where I would tend to get away with things that she didn't. Maybe it was because I was the baby, I was 2 years younger. But still, there were things that she noticed growing up that I never noticed because I was like, what? Life's great. She's like, yeah, but I have a 9 p.m. curfew and you don't. Like little things like that. That's not even a little thing. But I just kind of took that information and just really exaggerated because my parents were very loving and, never called my sister a whore or anything like that. But yeah, it's those things that I didn't notice that my sister had to tell me about.
Right.
That made me go, oh.
Different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is so, yeah, it's funny that people can relate because I would assume when you were making it, you weren't making it for people to be like, that's how I feel. It was more to be funny.
Well, it was to be funny, but I also wanted to make something that resonated with me as well, and something that I was, that made me laugh and made me feel good. And, that opening scene, I've played that in front of like a college. I went on tour back then and did college tours, and I would play the video and, up on a big screen. And that scene does not get big laughs. Like it's not a big, like it's more of, I don't know, this subtle humor about it. I think, most people don't laugh like crazy laughs, big raucous laughs at that skit or the shoes video in general. But there's just this, I don't know, I can't really explain. I'm just very happy that many people loved it.
I mean, like I said before, I still to this day I'll quote, like, if someone's an asshole, I'll be like, I hope you never grow. Like, I will say things like I use those lines all the time, and like it just cracks me up with even like have some whiskey, it'll make you feel better,
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Or like when Mother Grandma, when there's nothing, she's like, "What is she listening to? What is this plugged into?"
Yeah,
Like,
there's nothing.
there's nothing, and she's like, "Do do do." Like it's so I don't know that
Oh,
the
thanks.
humor
Yeah.
is so I don't. Again, I think it's there's the big humor is like the hot, but then there's the subtle humor
Yeah.
of like the little things that you have to pay attention to. And
Yeah, I've
one of
always
my
loved that.
yeah, one of my favorites is when Kelly's like when they're going shopping and she's like, "Hey, hey, hey," and she like notices that her voice got deep and she does this look of like, "Oh shit, like did anyone hear that?" I mean, it's hysterical. Like it's
Oh,
so
thanks.
fucking funny. Um and I'll even say things like when we were out drinking last night, I went out to dinner and we were at this wine place and I saw these people on the couch and I go, "This is my new friend. Shut up." Like I'll
Yeah.
just this shit is so funny.
Oh, thank you. Thank
I
you.
do have to say, I think my favorite video though, and my favorite character is Susan Walker.
Oh, yeah, I
Because
love Susan Walker.
when the producing, like when she's like,
Yeah,
"What's
when
this
she's
button do? What's this button? It doesn't do anything, Kelly. It's not turned on." What a piece of
yeah, yeah.
shit. And I will like I literally tears roll down my face when she's like, "I want something that's like gonna punch it, like and punches up, and then
Bam.
she just goes, 'Get up, we have to produce.'" Like
Yeah,
it's
keep
it is so like it's just it's perfection. I have no notes. I mean, it's so
Oh,
fucking
thanks.
funny.
Thank you.
And I
Wow.
my friend that I was texting that I grew up with, I when I told her you were coming on, she goes, I said, "Do you have any questions that you want me to ask?" And she goes, "Is Susan Walker going on tour?"
Yeah, the organic vegan girl on girl sandwich tour,
Right.
which lost funding. I don't know why, it lost funding. Um, yeah, and that was in the Bush era. Ugh.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, the
geez,
bleeper's
yeah.
working. Like
What's that?
the bleeper's working. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
like this shit was so funny.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I love Susan. It's kind of like my friend Megan, who plays Heather the vampire.
Mhm.
We met on a movie where she played a goth girl, and we became friends. And later, when I was doing text message breakup, I said, "Do you want to be like Kelly's best friend?" She's like, "Yeah, can I be like a vampire? And can I have a really boring name like Heather?" And I was like, "Yes, let's do it." Um, she and I did sketch comedy years before, like 5, 6 years before. And one of her characters was a lesbian country singer. And Susan Walker was her roadie. And Susan Walker was kind of in love with her. And I did a lot of like, it was almost like clown work because I was like silently just kind of lusting after her from the stage. And anytime she needed something, I would run up there with it and plug in her guitar or whatever. And I was like, "You got it, you got it." And we just, all I did was put earrings on and balloons in
She does have great
my
tits.
shirt. They're amazing. But people have written to me and said, "I know a Susan Walker. I, I love her because you know where you stand with her. She's no nonsense. You don't want to mess with her. Um, and she's good people. She's like salt of the earth. And
We
I
all
love
know a
that.
Susan Walker. We all know
Yeah,
one.
we've all known or met a Susan Walker. Yeah. And I wanted the name Susan because I didn't want there to be any doubt
Mm.
um, that, I was like, what's a really strong female name that's very popular that everyone knows? Oh, there's a boy named Sue, but that's a Johnny Cash song. But Susan, and I know I have an Aunt Susan. She's not like Aunt Susan Walker, but anyway, I've known many Susans my stepmother's name was Susan. Like, yeah, I was like, oh yeah, she's Susan. Susan.
Pinky Stardust.
Pinky Stardust. Oh, so you know about Pinky Stardust?
Yeah.
That was that was Megan's character.
It was. I'm telling you, I've watched all these videos so many times. I could recite them all.
Everyone knows a Susan.
Oh yeah, we all have a Susan. Um, yeah, Susan was probably my favorite character though.
Oh, thanks.
Like, I
Yeah.
think she was like, I mean, I love them all. They're like Mother Grandma, hysterical. Um, and of course Kelly. But Susan, I just think of it, like all of it when she comes in and punches the music producers. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it's crazy. Where like where did that so Susan, you said you had an aunt named Susan, but like was your
Yeah.
grandma, does she drink a lot of whiskey for real?
I had a great Auntie Barbara. She was amazing. And she would drink 7 and 7,
Oh.
and that was just her drink. So it's kind of based on her, but uh the character of Mother Grandma is based really on my grandma Harriet and my great grandma Tish. Grammy Tish was the sweetest. She every time she saw you, honey, how are you? She was so like full of life and love. And Grandma Harriet was always very sure of everything. Like, you gotta do things this way. And so I kind of combined the two, and the whiskey was Auntie Barbara, I guess, influenced. And I had written a sketch years. So Mother Grandma was before Kelly. Is that right? Yeah. I made a sketch about Mother Grandma before Kelly. Um, I should find that. It's a video where she whiskey solves every problem. So she like there's an old adage, you put whiskey on a baby's gums to help them when they're teething to calm them down. That's like from, centuries ago. And there's a crying baby, and she's, oh, just get her some whiskey. And someone's, oh, you mean put it on their gums like that old wives' tale? And she's like, what? No. And she's pouring him a shot, like
Just
for a
give him a
baby.
shot.
Yeah, a shot of whiskey solves everything. Like the TV's busted, she's just pouring whiskey on the top of it. Like whiskey was the, uh, end all be all of all salves.
Do you still walk around and use these voices?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
because like I don't know, like they become so like you just did it when you were talking like the Mother Grandma, but I'm like I would be using those voices all the time.
Yeah, so we adopted a Shih Tzu a year and a half ago, and it's our first dog. I've never had a dog, and I talk to her like this sometimes. I talk like Mother Grandma. Oh, there's a sweet little pooch. Um, and Kelly comes out when I get angry. I don't know why, but it lightens. Like if I'm really pissed off, it's hard to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can spin and cycle, but if I do something like, say, oh, like something, I'm angry. Oh, like put a name on it. It can kind of like, oh, it lets off some steam. Yeah, those two really, those come out a lot. Susan Walker's more. If I have to give some advice, I'll drop into Susan Walker. You gotta lube up that engine. Like, I don't know.
Do you think it would have been different, like now, the way the world is with TikTok and Instagram and social media, and how things go viral, but then they're forgotten the next day? Like things are moving so quick. Do you think
Yeah.
the videos, if you would have done them now, do you think it would have been different?
I don't know, but I do know that TikTok is fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I've read or seen tutorials about like how to grab your audience in the first second or the first 2 seconds. Like there's tips and tricks, like have movement in your video or just real technical stuff to grab the viewer by the lapels. And I'm like, oh, shoes would totally flop at that because it's a slow lead in. The beat doesn't drop until a minute or minute and a half into if the skit, if you're talking about the one with the skit.
Yeah.
But even, I don't know, like, I guess it might take off, but I don't know if TikTok would be where it would take off. Because TikTok seems like you've got to get your audience now. Otherwise, they're scrolling right through.
It's like you have I think I've read something too. It's like you have a 3-second hook. You got to grab them.
Yeah.
And then, but yours, I think like you said before, it was like a short film. Because yours, yeah, there's an intro. They start
Yeah.
slow, like it's the subtle humor, and then it turns into the whatever
The
what it's gonna
crazy.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The fire hula hoops at the end. Yeah.
right. So nowadays, yeah, I think everyone is so instant gratification, want things so fast, and videos go viral overnight, and then it's moved. The world's moved on. Now it's on to the next one, on to the next one. Like,
Yeah. It's
I
like
mean,
disposable content.
whereas like shoes is, I mean, how old is shoes now? It's like,
It's 19 years, I guess.
and
Yeah,
people are
19
and we're
years.
still talking about it. So like that's
Yeah.
crazy. You know what I
It's
mean? Like,
awesome.
yeah, there's no other videos. Like you don't see a video on TikTok and from 3 years ago that you're still talking about. Like it's forgotten.
Yeah, I wonder also if, it's a memory that this is maybe a total offshoot, but I know when I use my GPS on my phone, Google Maps, if I use it too much, I forget how to get places. Like I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't tell you how to go to my kid's school, like what streets I'm on, And
Right.
I'm like, that's messed up. I should be able to get in the car and drive my kids. Of course, now I can because I've been doing it for years, but uh uh, just little things like that getting around LA, I'm like, "Oh, I don't know the city as well as I did 10 years ago."
Well,
Which
we
is
used to remember people's
bizarre.
phone numbers too.
Yeah, you'd memorize a phone number.
Like I don't
I
know
still
anyone's
have
phone number.
my childhood friend's phone number is still baked in there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and yeah, I only know one phone number now. The rest are just, in the phone.
Yeah, I think I
Oh,
know mine, my husband's,
oh,
and
right.
maybe my mom's.
I know, right?
It's
Like one or two, and the rest are just in there. And you don't bother because it's
you
just a
just
name. You
you just
type
push
in their name
yeah.
or favorites, and there it is. Yeah, I remember when that first happened. I was like, I should still keep these written down somewhere, shouldn't I?
Right. I just saw a meme this morning and it's like, what a wild time to think that phone companies thought it'd be a good idea to put your name, phone number, and address, print millions of copies, and send it to everyone.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, could you imagine a phone book? People would be like, do not put my information in there.
I do not want my information out there. No.
No,
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Meanwhile, I mean, geez, the dark web has everything.
you
Like,
can find anything.
I think you can.
Yeah.
But I'm not looking.
No.
Uh, but yeah, that like, I guess maybe because it's your phone and everything is in there, that it's easy to forget stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And like, so your memory is just like, okay, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. It's over. And even just finding things in there. I struggle with like, so they changed the app. So I have to find, used to be favorites and now it's library. They
Yeah.
changed the updates.
Right.
So I struggle with that. I've always struggled with technology and smartphones and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of ironic that I have this, online thing that happened for me because I'm not, even when things changed with YouTube, like became more um, like vlog style, like people posting all the time. That seemed impossible to me because I was like, I do characters. I don't do personal life stuff. I'm not interested in making mac and cheese for everybody to watch me do that. That's not me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, YouTube evolved over time and it's still evolving. It's still going. It's trying to keep up with TikTok now, I guess.
When shoes took off in muffins and stuff, was it like an overnight success or was it like a slow build or like,
It was a slow build, yeah. Because
so
people were like me, were like, "What's YouTube? Oh, it's this thing. Oh, a lot of people have seen my stuff. Oh, how many? Oh, that many? Whoa! Oh, wild! How do I parlay that into a meeting with a studio exec, or like, how do I?" And they were slow too. Like Hollywood in general was like, "What are you? What do you do?"
right.
Uh,
Because it was so new.
yeah, it was so new, and in the early days, it was not monetizable. Like there was no rev share program,
Right.
partner program, and so I think also people are like, okay, you do this, but what are you trying to do? Like,
Right.
and are you trying to be a TV star, or you want like to direct, or what? So it was a little confusing. And when you present yourself in a confusing way, people get confused, I guess.
Right.
Like I also like felt like, oh, I don't want to wear all these hats. Like I don't want to produce and direct. I really just want to act and or do comedy and write my own stuff. But wearing all the hats is very difficult to do.
Mhm.
And originally, yeah, I had thought, oh, I'll make this. I'll take my skit ideas that I perform live and I'll make them into videos, and that will get me some buzz in the film festival circuit. Because back then, I think that was I don't know if there's any other way, you'd make your own short or you'd make your own feature even, um, and then try and sell it and get distribution. And suddenly distribution was right there for free. And it was cheap because digital tapes were available. We didn't have iPhones, but we had digital tape, and I could learn how to edit on a Mac at home. And my friend taught me a couple of keyboard shortcuts, and I took one class. And then I became an editor. My father is was an editor. So I think maybe genetically I got a little bit of like timing on how to do that.
Right.
But
Because yeah,
yeah, other than that, computers, I was like, I have no idea.
but I mean, were these videos, were they expensive to produce? Because like some of them, weren't you in like Marshalls and you were in like,
Yeah. Well,
like,
Marshall's was the first brand deal that I ever got. And back then, brand deals were kind of like, ooh, you're selling out.
mm,
It had that kind of stigma on it still. And fast forward to now, I did something with Crocs last year, and people were so happy online. They're like, "Get that bag, Kelly." They were so happy for like
right,
this is justice. Kelly's getting some money.
right.
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, things have changed so much." But yeah, I got to a point where I had to pay people. I couldn't ask for favors anymore.
Hmm.
Um, and so Marshalls came and said, "We'll give you money and you can make your video." And I was like, "Great." Uh, I got my crew paid and my actors paid, and that felt really good. Uh, but it was a massive undertaking. There were many, many people in the video, and that's how I'd always done it. So that's what I knew how to do. I didn't know how to just make cheap video. Like I didn't know,
Right.
or I wasn't interested in that. I wanted to make bigger scope stuff. But I just couldn't get a deal with I pitched to Comedy Central and I pitched to MTV. Um, who else did I pitch to? HBO. Um, but they all passed eventually. MTV showed the most interest, but eventually they were like, no.
See, I feel like, like, would you ever revisit that?
Yes, I'm totally open to it.
Because I feel like everything comes back, right? They're remaking all these shows.
Yeah,
Like everything there's not a lot of new ideas out there, in my opinion. They keep remaking movies or sequels and all this stuff. Like I could totally see now, like Netflix picking up like a Kelly show, or like I could totally see, because there's all these millennials, all these people from the 2000s, they would be like, oh my, it would go crazy.
I agree. And if Netflix, you're listening, I'm
Hello,
available.
Netflix. Yeah.
Give me a call
Yes.
or send me a DM. I don't know what to say now, but yeah, I would love that. You know, there was a time right around when my daughter was born, where I was like, okay, that chapter of my life is over. And that was a wonderful, exciting, exhilarating time. And it was like, I guess maybe 6, 7 years after going viral, where I was like, okay,
Mhm.
things have a natural
Life cycle type.
denouement. Yeah, cycle.
Mhm.
And so this was a great run. And, you know, I pivoted to editing because I could edit and there was plenty of editing jobs. And I was like, okay, you can, um, you can have that as an experience and move on. And, you know, it, it didn't feel very good at the time because I thought, oh, I'm giving up, I'm failing or whatever, and so I went through definitely a mental, I got therapy and all, and my mother died. It was just a terrible time. But um, over time, I realized how special it was and what a great thing that I had made that people liked, not just because it was funny, but also they connected with it. And it made them, some people told me it made them feel good about being a teenager. When you're a teenager and your emotions are all over the place, and something that you see that was homemade, it just, if you connect with it, you feel like, oh, okay, I'm not crazy. I'm not alone. That kind of vibe. That just made me feel so good to know that. And then so when 2024 came around, oh, really the pandemic. When the pandemic happened, my friend Dave and I were like, let's do something because the world's ending. We got to,
Mm-hmm.
do something. And we made a video about masks to maybe someone would wear a mask and save their life. We didn't know. We were like, we have to do something. But that kind of started up a little bit of like activity. And then in 2024, I got invited to a drag show here in LA by a drag queen, Vera Particula. And she said, hey, do you want to come perform shoes? And I hadn't performed live as Kelly easily in 10 years at that point.
Wow.
And I didn't know if I could do it because I had a lot of emotion wrapped up in that too,
Right.
because of all the roller coaster my career took. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And so I said no. In my mind, I said no. But then they wrote again and said, it doesn't matter how good or bad you are. We just want to see you again. And so I went, and that went viral. I experienced a couple days where people were like, you broke the internet again. They were, someone posted it on Twitter or somewhere, and people were like, Kelly's live again. Kelly's in front of a crowd. This is incredible. Um, and so that felt really good. And I was like, oh, and then other people invited me to do like a Pride event. Like I went up to San Francisco Pride in 2024. It was incredible. And the response was overwhelming. And I was like, oh, wow. Oh, great. I can do this. I can wear heels again. I'm not decrepit.
Mm-hmm.
I may be a lot older, but I'm okay. And I remember the words.
Right.
And it was just so lovely to meet people who, told me their story of when they were a teenager, what that video meant to them. And I was just like, okay, if I'm 75 years old and I can still do this and people want to see it, I'm going to do it. So I'm no longer closing chapters. I'm just kind of leaving the book open, let the breeze blow the pages.
Yeah. Would you? Because my next question, which you already kind of answered, I was like, why did you quit making the videos? And
Yeah.
would you now bring Kelly back? Like, would you make new videos, or do you want to just kind of see where it goes?
A good friend of mine said, back then I was really trying to parlay it into more mainstream success
Mm-hmm.
because that's all I could see. I didn't have the kind of vision that, oh no, YouTube can be the destination.
Right.
You could build an entire empire right there. And I didn't see that then. And, I was trying to get on television or in a movie or, just, I wanted to be like a traditional actor and have
Right.
that career. And budgeting things and producing things, I was like, "Ugh, this is not me. I can't, I can do it, but it's so hard and it's sapping all my energy. And like writing things because you're under a budget, that was so hard for me to do because I just dreamed these big, I was like, Wizard of Oz, let's do a Wizard of Oz parody. Like, anyway, um, but yeah, I guess it was just like because I couldn't get on TV, I just felt like I had fallen short of my goals, like that I had as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt I just kind of snowballed into, a feeling of like, oh, I'm not good, or I'm not as good as you need to be, or um just that rejection of like, oh, uh nobody's interested in making a movie or making a TV show with my material. Okay, shit. Because
Right.
that's, going viral in that time, I was like, well, I have to strike now. I have to get in those meetings now because I got the heat now. If this cools off, who's gonna open the door for me? And that's where I felt I was up here. So that's really the biggest reason why I just said, okay, this was great, and I'm going to have to not do it anymore. Now that I'm 52, which I still can't believe I am, my life is so different now, and I have 2 kids, and my main focus is, like keep these kids going, like get them in great shape for this fucked up world.
Mm.
And so my headspace is not very creative these days. I've had a couple of ideas for things, but nothing that to get out there consistently would be kind of impossible at this stage. And to like create and create and create and create like I did 20 years ago, I just don't see it for myself. If I had help, if I had like, you know, a budget, like people gave me money and said, okay, go write something, take the time off of work, or, that kind of thing. Uh, that could work, maybe.
It's hard too, I
Yeah,
think, because
it's very difficult to have this kind of creative mindset in this time of my life, because geez, I just don't even know what I want to say anymore. Like, how as a creative person, you want to like put a message out there a little bit. It's so dark out there. I just don't. If I put it like, I'm like, do I address the darkness? Do I put more light in the world by doing that? Like, I'm in this weird. You can tell I don't even really know what I'm talking about.
no, I mean, as an actor and as another creative person, I'm fully I'm on board. Like, I get exactly what you're saying. And I think, well, first of all, I want to say you are good enough, because these videos
Thank you.
were so good and they're so funny and they're still, holding the test of time. And it's funny too what you were talking about like, wanting to make it on TV or this. And it's so funny because like what you did achieve is what so many people are trying to do and would like love to have that kind of success and all that. And so I think we always look to ourselves and I do the same thing. Like, I'm also an actor, so I'm trying so hard to, like, I just have a Southwest Airlines commercial coming out this week. So
All
many people are
right.
like, that's amazing. But I'm like, but commercials is not what I want to do. Like, yes, it's great. You
Yeah.
make money. I'm not complaining. It was an amazing experience. But like, I want to be doing TV, or I want to do that, so I get where you're at, where it's a mind fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm not
It
trying to
is a
sound
mind fuck.
ungrateful, because I'm very great. Like, I've booked more than I know most people will, but I'm not what I'm wanting to be doing, which is also why I created this podcast, because I was like, I need a creative outlet that I can actually have control of, and where I'm not. I mean, I audition every multiple times a week. And it's like no one sees the hustle that you put into it. No one
The
sees all the
hustle.
work
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
producing, of the budgeting, of the location scouting, of all like even for this podcast. I'm my own. I have to reach out to people and book my own guests. I have to edit it. I have to direct it. I have to cut it. I have to do all the social media. Like, people don't realize all the hats you have to wear
Yep.
to accomplish something, or to put something out that's quality. So I get where you're
Yeah.
at in that.
And all the work you have to do to get to the point where you're in front of the camera and you're doing your craft, you're doing your art. That's like a sliver of the day
Hmm.
when you're doing all those other things to support that. It's
Totally.
like, it's what, 5% of the time.
If that.
And I think a lot of other actors, who are on shows, have the same things. Like, I know a guy, he had to fly to South Africa to shoot one day because it was cheaper to fly him all the way out there where their studios were, or whatever, where they were filming this thing, than to do it in Hollywood,
Isn't that
where he
crazy?
lives. Yeah. And I remember doing a sitcom years ago, and I was like, oh, this is why people do sitcoms. You show up on Monday, you read the script, you rehearse a little bit. Tuesday, they rewrite, you do some more, you go home, you live 10 minutes away from the studio. You have a dressing room, a bathroom. There's no trailer. There's no flight to get anywhere. You just show up, and Friday night, you're in front of a live audience getting laughs. I mean, that's a dream. I was like, this is incredible. I remember
Right.
working that sitcom and going, oh, I get it. This is why people make them. They're amazing. They're so, uh, you know, you get to do what you're doing, as an actor, you get to show up and rehearse and put it on. A lot of these TV shows, like single camera things, you never rehearse. You
Mm-mm.
show up and you better fucking nail it. Because if you've got 5 lines or 1 line even, and you fuck it up, everyone's like, God damn this guy.
I
You
know.
know?
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're the star,
Yeah.
like there's no room for error.
No. And when you're the star, you work your ass off. You're in every scene. You're the dialogue you have to memorize. You're doing so much. You're carrying the show. So
But
there's that.
this is even with a crew and with money and studio money and all the stuff. Like what
Yeah.
you've done is like, I mean, I can only imagine, especially in the early 2000s, trying to scout location. We didn't have social media to go on Instagram and be like, let me find this. Like you
No.
had to come up with all this stuff. You couldn't
Oh yeah.
find locations or just DM someone or find someone. Oh, you have 1 million followers. Do you want to be in my video and help it? Like there was
Shoes
none of that.
it took months. It
Yeah.
took months to make it because I had to. Yeah, like you said, the location thing. I found this store that was not a shoes store, but I loved the look of it, and I, just said, "Hey, straight up, could we come in here one night and night shoot in here, and I'll pay you." I forget what I paid. It was like $300 or something. This store cost $300.
These shoes are $300 fucking dollars.
Let's get them. But yeah, they were like, "Oh, okay." And so, I had a DP and I had a guy who ran lights for me. And then I had my actors and me, and that was it. I remember someone, a makeup artist, saw shoes and said, "You're very shiny in it. You should hire a makeup artist next time." I was like, I had no idea which, I
That's
was
not in the
shiny.
budget, honey.
Okay, I needed to. Yeah, no one was giving me touch ups. None of that. But then, yeah, and then the pool party scene, I had to ask my friend. His parents had this beautiful house, and I said, "Can I do the pool party scene there?" "Yeah." "Okay, who's available? It's Saturday, some Saturday morning," that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
it took
people
a long
realize how
time.
much work was put. I could see watching it, but I don't think people realize how much work was put in to each one of those videos.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had to borrow. There was a jib arm, so that pool party scene had this great crane shot
Mm-hmm.
that just pumped up the production value. And I was like, "Ooh, that's great." We didn't know how to use it. So on the day, it was like this. It looked terrible. And we're like, "Oh no, we got one good one. One good one." And that's the one you see. All of the rest were just awful. And of
Shaky.
course, yeah, they were herky jerky. And at the time, I don't even know how to patch that now or fix that now. Warp stabilizer, I guess. But anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, we were, uh, geez, I was lucky that I met guys who graduated the USC film program early in my life because they were the ones who were like, "Oh yeah, you can make videos." Back then, it was a camcorder or mini DV tapes. The mini DV
Yes.
tapes looked better. You could shoot in 24p, which I was like, "What's 24p mean?" I never
Right.
went to film school.
Right.
I was just an actor, please. I did improv, I did, stand up and all that stuff. The technical side of things, I still struggle with,
Now it's moving
yeah.
so fast. I don't even know how to edit. Like TikTok. I don't even know how to really work it. Like I know how to go on there and watch videos, but these
Yeah.
creators that make stuff, I'm like, I don't know how to do these effects. And I know I'm like not. I never thought I would sound old, but because when I was younger, I was so up to date on it. Now I'm like, I don't even know how to work this shit. It's getting
I
crazy.
know. I know. It's moving so fast. And yeah, I see those VFX, visual effects, TikToks, and I marvel at their skill. It's incredible what they can do. I'm probably never going to do that.
We'll
VFX
never
is
say
not.
never.
Okay, sorry. I VFX is not my thing, but if someone were to take my
If you were to
face
get a
and
team,
VFX it,
listen, I know I have some friends, and I have that listen to this. I have some friends that work at Netflix, and I have some friends that are really high up at NBC Universal. I think we need to I think Kelly needs a reboot
yeah, I
with
would
it
love that.
with a team. So you don't have to do it. You can
Yeah.
help in the creative room and write it and then act, but you need a production team.
Yeah, I mean, that was really a dream was to like kind of walk in and say, okay, this is the Kelly character. Let's write some scripts, maybe have a TV series.
There's so much stuff coming out with like these verticals and all these different platforms. I feel like
Right. Yeah.
there's somewhere for Kelly to live. You know what I mean? I don't know if
Yeah. Some
if you want to
straight
do like a
to,
yeah, like
yeah.
maybe not a 30-minute sitcom every week, but there's got to be somewhere where Kelly can come back to life. I think it would be amazing. And if you
Yeah.
do,
And
I want a cameo in one of the videos.
okay, Ben.
I want to do I can be Susan Walker's like gay assistant or something.
Oh,
Like I want something where maybe Susan Walker has made it big and I'm like her personal assistant.
Ben, where's my Fender?
Yeah.
Where's my guitar?
Where-
Ben, it ain't tuned. So you got to tune it up. Let me show you. Real quick. Come on over. Oh, yeah.
It'd be so good.
Susan and Ben on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like
that'd
driving
be
her
great.
like station wagon, like the one that has the old ones that had like the wood paneling on the side.
Yeah.
And I'm
With
driving
all
and
those bumper stickers on the back,
oh yeah.
camping
Yeah.
gear. We don't
Yeah.
stay in no hotel. We're going to a campsite. Yeah.
she's got like the coexist and the pride and the Black Lives Matter and all the like spiritual like all the bumper
Yep.
stickers on the back of her car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And a big old American flag, too.
Oh yeah.
She loves
Or
her
maybe
country.
maybe we're on a motorcycle. It's like Dykes on Bikes.
Oh, yes. Yes. And you're in like a little car
The sidecar.
The sidecar. You're in the sidecar just kind of hanging on.
And she's driving, of course.
Or you're on your phone trying to set up the next gig.
Oh my God,
that's pretty good.
We're performing at the we're performing at the Legion. We got to hurry. And she's like,
Yeah. And she's got another girlfriend on the back. Like she's got girlfriends in every city. So
for everyone now, they can follow you on Instagram. Are you doing any more Pride stuff coming up? Are you going on tour anytime soon? What should people look out for?
the next thing that I have coming up is I'm going to do a Christmas show or a holiday show called A Very Kelly Christmas. And it's going to be live. And I want to raise money for, maybe the Trevor Project or an LGBT, like GLAD, something like that. And my friend Megan is going to be there, and my friend Pam is going to be there playing Kelly's mom. And we don't really know what we're doing yet, but it's going to be a lot of songs. And Susan Walker might be there. And we're just going to try and have fun with the characters and raise some money. And that's December 20th, I believe. At the Elysian in LA. At the Elysian.
I'm gonna come out for that.
Oh gosh, I might live stream it too. So
I don't care. I think if there's an audience, I mean, I would love to do that and be there. That would be amazing.
Oh, okay. I can't promise, it's going to be amazing. I think it'll be fun, but I don't, we're like, what are we going to do? And I'm like, we could sing some song. We could sing Shoes. We could show some videos, some old times, we could reminisce and then raise some money like that. And then I wrote a solo show about my experience going viral and the roller coaster that I went on. I'm hoping to do that show again, like in other cities, because I've done it in LA, like 6 or 7 times, and I did it in New York once, and it's been well received. So I want to keep doing it. And it's called Wearing Kelly's Shoes. And it's a departure from me too, because I'm not playing any characters. I'm just being myself, which I was kind of scared to do because I was like, I'm not like Kelly. Like I'm not. Hey, what's up? Like I'm not like that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but it's been well received, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Well, I definitely want to come to the Christmas show, and I'm going to link your Instagram and your website in the show notes so people can follow you and people can come to all this stuff. And when you do have announcements, like when you have an official announcement, I'll totally post that and share that for the world.
All right, everyone. I'll see you next Tuesday. Batch.
Thank you for listening to that episode of It's Been a Week, but don't touch that dial because it's not over yet. Get ready for the after show. Been there, done that with AJ. Well, we're going to get AJ's take on whatever the fuck I just said. And the man of the hour is back.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I have to say, I'm really impressed at how much you've grown with this podcast already
How so?
because your interview skills are just so much better than when they were from the beginning. Like, I think you're much more engaged in the overall story and pulling things out of people that you know will make it a more enjoyable listen. I think you're doing a really good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a good little compliment.
Yeah.
I had someone else message me today, and they were like, "I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I'm not being biased, but yours is my favorite."
Oh, that's nice.
And they said it sounds so professional with the transitions and all the things. And I'm like, "Well, thank you, because I put a lot of work, and I'm doing all the editing."
um awesome conversation though. Like how fun to be able to go back to a time that was so ahead of its time.
Yeah, like when I tell you the amount of times I have probably watched those videos over and over, and it's so funny that, now with like TikTok and Instagram, things go viral very quickly.
Yeah.
But it's forgotten about in 2 days.
Right.
There's no viral videos that people are like from last year.
No, it's like the impact of what was from that time stays because, well, one, it was ahead. It was so significant. There's so much virality. Is that
a
what it
word?
is? Virality. I
but it's
think.
happening
now.
all the time.
Yeah, like exactly. That things just are blowing up all the time. And are as a result, our attention to things
It's
like
so quick.
is it
Like
doesn't
he even said, like shoes would probably not take off now because like shoes, it takes 2 minutes for it to like kick in to where she says shoes.
right.
There's the lead up, then it like the big finale. Like it's such a long video.
Did
that
you say she says?
Yeah, because when she's Kelly, it's a she.
Yeah, I know.
And like to have 80 million views, you have to think about it. People were going to school. People were going and like, did you see the shoes video? Oh my God, did you see the shoes video? It's not like now on Instagram, right? You just DM it to someone. You
Right.
just send it to people.
No, I liked that point where you talked about the word of mouth. And word of mouth today, I think is that much more important because of the world that we live in, like where everything is just shared. Think of the amount of stuff that you and I send to each other, you send to people that people don't even look at anymore. Like think of the stuff that people send you and you heart it and you don't even watch it.
I mean, people DM me videos and memes all the time, and I literally
don't watch them.
Or I'll just send laughing faces.
Yeah.
It's just like there's so much. Or if you love something, I'll put things on my story. You just reshare it. But like
it's a different level of engagement.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that he was ahead of the time is really incredible. It's also why when that drag queen called and was like, come to my show, and it took off again, and then going to San Francisco Pride, because it is culture.
Yeah.
And I think that these moments now with a lot of these videos that get a lot of views and come and go quick, they're not culture. They're not culture. They don't impact. Some do, but it's not nearly as many that we would like, oh my God, it's a viral video. Well, who cares? Because people literally don't care after a few minutes. But this type of thing is culture, and it's culturally important, especially because it was a part of a change of time in the way that we experience things. When he said it was user generated content, like that was that moment, but which still is today. People are still creating. It's just like he said, it was called something different, but it was culture.
Right.
And I think that that's what makes it so special. And the fact that you're able to have this conversation and him recognize that with the right type of people supporting what he does, like he said, Netflix or whoever's listening, there is something about now investing in someone like him and his creativity to tap into that nostalgia because it's real culture.
Right. And everything does, like you said, everything comes back, and everything, things like that, the culture and the nostalgia of it. I think people would love if there was I was trying to remember the name of it, but like Quibi. Quibi was supposed to take off and it didn't. But that would have been a perfect thing to have Kelly on Quibi. But also
potentially, but like even if YouTube, which they totally could,
made a show, made his own little
but reinvented that and then leverage off YouTube platform
right
to drive back to the platform, to leverage TikTok, to leverage Instagram, where we're talking about things that can go big real fast, but they fall off, but to then drive them back to YouTube with new current content that then reminds us about the older content. And so you're watching kids that don't even know what Kelly is go and now want to re-experience something, and then their parents are pulled in or their older siblings.
I mean, they should have him do a YouTube ad or commercial. Like it would be such a moment to like, because he was at the
The
groundbreaking
height of that.
of YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I mean, I am such a fan. Like, to be honest, Shoes is like not even in my top 5 of his favorite videos. Like, he has such funny shit on there that it was like, I mean, we would watch it over and over. And to this day, I told him, I quote it. And I'm like, what a piece of shit, like all the time. Or, I mean, like with Susan Walker, I'll be like, she does have great tits.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I say that stuff all the time. And I'm like, if people don't even know all the like the good content that he has out there.
Yeah, I'm sure. But that being said, too, like once there's so much out there, right? And he happened to have something that hit. And at that time, because it did, it created a big impact. But think of how many other people have so much incredible content that just never reached anyone. And that's
Right.
the challenge. Like, as you guys were talking about, you all too with your careers and where you want them to go, but then where things end up. And like, I really thought that part where he talked about he didn't have the vision to recognize that like what he thought he wanted and needed, that he was actually doing something almost so much bigger in a way. And I think that that's a really good point because personally, like through my work, when I do vision work with people, I'm always like, get away from the picture. Get away from the thing that you see it and you think it's supposed to be and get into the feeling. Because then when you're in the feeling, that's where the doors start to really open. And when I listened to him, it was like an affirming moment for myself and what I think. Because if in that moment he had the ability to get into the feeling of why he wanted to be on TV or be in the movie or whatever it is, he probably would have realized, wow, it's delivering in this thing that I never expected because of the impact that he had and in the way that he reached people and the way that he could create and be creative and act. I think if I'm correct in what he was saying, like because it wasn't doing what he quote unquote thought from that picture, it made him walk away in a way, made him like pull away from.
Yeah, he said he kind of closed that chapter because he's like, it's lived out at what it's going to be.
Right. And it could have just become so much bigger and it still can. And I think that's the point. Like it absolutely still can. But
I mean, him and I had a conversation once we quit rolling and it was like, there was other YouTube stars like Miranda Sings and other people that went on to have, I mean, she got canceled, but there was other people that went on to have, Netflix shows and different things. And I think that there's a huge opportunity there, but it's funny how we always, even I'll look at my career and I'm like, I'm definitely not where I want to be. But then at the same time, there's so many people that I would love to have a National Southwest commercial. I would love, for him, he envisioned, things might be differently, but there's so many people that are trying to have that shoes video, that are trying to have that muffins video, that are trying to have.
That's why I really think like the big takeaway for me, as you're saying that too, beyond this absolutely great podcast episode, I think you did an amazing job. It's like there's so many people that'll listen to it just out of their enjoyment of these old videos, but then getting to know him more and then hearing you guys talk about that and just beyond, it's a great podcast episode. But for me, I think one takeaway that I really hope that people have is exactly what you're saying. We almost don't reach our potential out of our own limitation around what is possible because we get so caught up in things needing to quote unquote be a certain way. And I think we're conditioned like that. We're conditioned that as we grow up to do certain things, like just as an extreme, like you need to become a doctor or a lawyer or something. And for you to be successful, and parents put that into a child's mind. And they could literally be misguiding or diminishing this incredible child's future to be a massive YouTube star or something, right? Which clearly now today, most kids probably want to be that versus those other things. But you get my point. And I think that we do that on ourselves. And so even for you, when you're like, oh, I'm not where I need to be or whatever it is, I think you should, as you know, I already say this, like take that step back and think about what you want to do from an impact standpoint. Think about what you want to be creating in the world because you're doing that. And like that Southwest commercial is that.
Right.
It's just, yes, from like your idea of the level and the artistry
or what you
and all
imagine
that.
it's going to be like.
Yeah.
It's always.
Yeah, but like you're still in front of the camera, you're still getting flown first class, you're still getting paid good money and like all the other things I think you want, and you still get stuff that you get to share that you're proud of, that is showing you on film. And yeah, it doesn't necessarily hit the things you thought it was going to be, but when you look at it from another way, you can have pride in that.
Right.
And I think that when we talk about manifesting and law of attraction and all that, that's an opening. That's door opening by you having pride in it versus you, unfortunately, like he said, closing a chapter or
Right.
moving away from something. So too often we think that when we close things, when we think we think we're being smart, we're actually oftentimes running away from something versus running towards the thing that we think we're headed towards. Like if someone's like, oh, I'm not going to do this because I'm going to go do that other thing, they're actually like running away. They're not running towards the thing that they want.
Right.
And I think that if we change the way that we look at ourselves and look at our success and look at what we're doing, and we change the vision around it, we actually will find ourselves probably running towards more. And like, I can only hope that for him. He deserves that. And at 52 years old, like how fabulous of what that could become for like now at this part of his life to create a character that there's so many people that are in their 50s or 60s that now are going to go online and experience something like, people who were in 50 or in 60s 20 years ago never would have, or even 10 years ago probably. And he could have a whole nother moment.
Whole new
like think
demographic.
of those guys, like, those like, I think there's like 4 guys in Palm Springs.
Yeah, the 4 gay guys.
The 4 gay guys, or like there's people at all different age levels that captivate audiences. And he's already got so much momentum in the back. Like it could be a thing.
He was, now meeting him, Liam, so opposite of Kelly. Like Kelly is such a bitch and so like bold and just like ew. Whereas when I met him, he's so like sweet and gentle and kind. And like, it's so funny how he puts on this, character and becomes someone totally different because he is the exact opposite of Kelly.
Yeah, but it's funny to hear him say too in moments when he's angry or whatever, how these characters could come out or when he talks to his dog. And I think that because at some point they are in him and they're in him some way, right? Like obviously he created them.
Right. But
I get what you're saying.
He was just like very soft spoken and very sweet.
He's an actor.
But very nice.
He's a comedian. He's an actor.
Right? Yeah, he's very nice and just so nice. But then like Kelly's such a bitch.
Well, maybe you should develop a nice character. So it'll be so different.
Ha 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 ha. What a piece of shit.
So awesome. I loved it. I really enjoyed listening to it, and I hope everyone else does too.
These shoes are $300. These shoes are $300. These shoes are $300 fucking dollars. Let's get them. All right, everyone. I'll see you next Tuesday.